There we go.
Hello, Neil.
Good afternoon.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you for having me back.
I've given you a beer too.
I know, so be careful.
It speaks of danger when
What-
Neil and beer
Well, it helps
come
me.
together.
It helps me speak dangerously.
This is we normally do a drink beer show, but we're kind of doing, it's like a mix of a blues lesson and a beer, and this is a 4 Pines summer ale, Indian summer ale.
It's beautiful.
It's very nice.
Because I don't normally like those summery ales or IPAs and stuff like that.
Oi.
And this one is a converting beer, I think.
Converting you. My buddy Garth, if you're watching, at Vintage Cellars here in South Melbourne, said you have to try this because I've got an old guy who comes in and he says to me, it's a different old guy, not me, and he swears by this beer. This is the beer. It's the best. So I'm liking that. Only the best for you.
We've got to believe the old guys.
Yes.
Because they've been drinking it for longer.
Well, I ran into him and I said, how old are you, sir? 85? He's like, 45. I'm like, oh, yeah, hard. Neil, what has been going on in the world of Neil?
I think my 2018 year of craziness and gigging and working and cramming all that
nice.
stuff in is
Yes.
quietened down a little bit. I've gone out of my way to sort of slow down a bit.
Yeah.
But the gigs are still coming. And
Yes.
I've had some pretty good ones this year so far.
Yes.
Hawker Heights at Bird's Basement.
How was that?
Really great.
We
Really
we
great.
advertised that, and apparently so many
Thank
people
you.
turned up, and there was a fight.
Yes.
Tell us about the fight.
So
Neil.
I haven't heard any
Did
feedback.
you win?
Well, I think I won the musical fight
Okay.
on the night, and the punters who behaved themselves had a great time, and I'm sure they went and told everyone how great it was. And I had one guy tell me at set break that he heard one of my songs on PBS the week before.
Oh, cool.
Loved it, showed his family, and then found out the gig was on. It's like, man, if that can happen to another 1,000 more people next week, that'd be great. But
Well, there'll be
Yeah.
at least 1,000 people that watch.
there were some really sweet people. There was a good crowd.
Cool, man.
But at the end of the night, there was a couple of guys. One who I know from a distance.
Yes.
He's actually a really nice bloke, but he lost control, and
He likes a drink.
he ended up on the wrong end of it from another bloke's hands. So it was kind of like we brought the Blues Brothers to to a posh jazz venue.
And didn't you say that he'd never had blues in there and he was like wary of it?
The last time we had like a fairly big blues act was Coco Montoya, which was I think it was
Oh,
about
right,
4
yeah.
years ago.
Right.
And apparently that went really well, and so they used that as a basis to bring maybe a couple more bands in, but they didn't really get a good crowd because their mailing list is a jazz crowd, and because that's the majority. They market really well because their email list is awesome.
Yes.
And
yeah, I do get this stuff.
so and I think I might have got a look in because my brand of the blues is probably a little bit more jazz orientated
Yes.
as well, and it fit.
Definitely.
It really did fit. It was
That's
a really
cool.
cool band
Lot
for
of-
the venue,
lot
good
of
venue
folks.
for the band, yeah.
A lot of people, big turnout.
Yeah, it was a pretty good turnout. It wasn't a sellout, but I wasn't looking at empty tables, so
Yeah.
so,
Good.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Well, that's
it was a really good start, except for old mates at the end affecting the crockery.
Yeah. Well, you just pretend not to know him.
Yeah,
I was a
who?
jazz guy. Jazz guy on the drugs.
Yeah.
Now, Neil, I've got you in today. Oh, we've got some people on. We'll say hello in a moment. But I've got you in today because I've been doing a lot of this. And I kind of want to do a bit more with it. So I need some help from someone who can do a bit more.
Yep.
We have Michael Reyes on.
Hey, Michael. Lovely to meet him in real life, by the way.
Oh,
recently.
where was that?
Outside my house. I know that sounds really creepy, but
You know, it doesn't sound weird at all, Neil, because it happens to me a lot.
okay, so
And
I
Nigel.
did this gig a few months ago down in Mornington at the Royal Hotel, playing for a girl called Lisa Faithful.
Yes.
And I had a couple of charts written because it was a couple of last minute songs added to the set list.
Yes.
And I had an iPad stand. I had an iPad, brought the iPad home after the gig and left the stand down in Mornington. Now I live in the northern suburbs, so it's a long way to go and get it.
Yeah.
And I urgently needed that stand back just for a couple of lyric sheets that I wasn't kind of confident on. I just needed it out the corner of my eye at a couple of gigs.
Yes.
And I put the word out on Facebook saying, if anyone is around the Mornington area coming up to Melbourne in the next couple of days, can they please go to the pub and grab my iPad stand and and I'll meet you wherever are going to be in Melbourne, and I'll give you a free copy of the album or two.
And Michael was listening through your window,
and he sent me.
Heard that.
Well, luckily it was through the window of the internet.
The window of the net.
And he sent me a message saying that his son Adam
Yep.
was
Met
trying to get
Adam.
his driving.
Lovely-
He's trying to
lovely
get his, really great dude. Trying to get his driving hours up.
Oh, okay.
So they don't live anywhere near Mornington.
But no.
But to get his
Out
driving
east or
hours up, he's out east. Get his driving hours up, they were willing to drive down to Mornington and back up to my place in the northern suburbs.
That is amazing. Is that
So
what you
the-
have to do to get a license now?
You've got to do like heaps and heaps of hours, and it's got to be you've got to do a logbook of daytime and nighttime hours or something.
That's probably a good thing.
It is a good thing, but it puts more traffic on the road, I guess. Bloody
Ooh.
kids these days.
Damn you, whippersnapper.
So I got it hand delivered, and him and Adam turned up, and
Cool.
I said, "Oh, here's a couple of copies of the album, and thank you." And yeah,
They are super nice.
Yeah.
And just a special message to the Ray family.
Hmm.
You cannot enter the competition that we have going, Nigel and I.
really.
No,
Have there been previous winners?
They've been previous ones.
Ah.
Yeah, we need a new winner. I remember when I got my license. We're deviating here, but my dad said, "This buddy of mine's a cop. Just tell him what you want, and he'll get you a license."
I like where this is
And,
going. Yeah, this is a Queensland cop too, right?
This is Queensland cops, so it was a lot of money back then. And so he said, the cop came in. I met him at my dad's work, and he's like, "Just answer these 10 questions for me, and we'll get your learners done. You don't have to come down and do anything." I'm like, "Okay." Answered it. And he's like, "No, you got one wrong. I can't give it." And I'm like, "Wait a second. I just paid you 10 grand." No, I didn't. But it really did happen.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, "I know this buddy of mine, and he'll get you."
So-
And I got one question wrong out of 10. I can't remember what it was. Don't go through red lights or something.
Fail.
And
That's a pretty
so, yeah.
critical question to get wrong, isn't it?
Eek.
Pretty fundamental.
Now, Neil. There's lots of people on. All right. Before I say hello to more people, Neil, what can I do? We've got a lot of folks that like the blues, and they know the basics of the blues, the 1-4-5 chords. They know a bit of a shuffle, but I know a couple of turnarounds.
Yep.
That sort of thing.
That's the one that I know as well.
All right, Neil, give me that beer back. I kind of get stuck doing that.
Yep.
Or Sweet Home Chicago, sort of.
Yeah, which is awesome. Yeah.
Is very cool. But you have that, and you have a fancy. What was that kind of thing you were playing when we were tuning up a bit? It was like a or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
so it's the classic blues bass line.
Yeah.
So in the key of A you were doing it in.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's do it in the middle. Most beautiful sounding PRS.
Yeah.
So it's 1, 3, 5, 6,
Yep.
and then flat 7.
Flat 7. Oh yeah. Right. Excuse me.
Pretty stock standard
Yep.
kind of thing, and it's a pretty common thing that the bass player would be doing too.
Okay.
But quite often in the blues, there's a doubling of the bass part. They might do the same thing together with the guitar.
Okay.
So like a that kind of thing, right? And that's only that's kind of like a chord melody kind of approach, not to the Chet Atkins extent, but like
Yeah.
knowing where to put those little chord staves in. But
Okay.
that basic bass line is something that you might hear as a guitar riff too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your, and what are you doing there? You've got the.
yeah.
What,
So
you're just sort of muting a few strings.
yeah.
To give it
So
a bit of
it's a
chugga-chugga?
left hand mute thing. So I
Right.
let the meat of my fingers at this here
Yeah.
to rest over the strings that I'm not playing.
Okay.
So it's that's always
Yep.
so I've I'm able to actually be pretty wide with my picking stroke,
Like
and
that
hit it
sort of
pretty
Stevie
hard.
Ray type style. a little
Yeah,
bit.
so that's something you learn when you realise you're going
Yeah.
right, and your guitar teacher goes, "Man, you got all your fingers to use, not just the tips." So
You gotta, I might do a camera switch, and
Yeah.
we're going to have a closer look at that, because I love that. Let's go. Camera B. Okay. Can we have a look at that
So-
again, Neil?
let's talk tab.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do tab.
5th fret,
Yeah.
4th fret on the next string, 7th fret
Yep.
on the same string, 4th fret. I struggle to talk like this, and then 5th fret
Yep.
on the D string. So and
Cool.
then back down, and you end it with a little slide.
That's cool.
And the same, there's almost an infinite amount of variations in that too. So it's
It's like a,
oh, and the same thing.
right.
It's the same thing here now.
now we're going to the 4. Exactly the same.
But quite often, if I'm doing that kind of riff, instead of going up, I want it
Yep.
to sound just as meaty as the first one.
Yeah.
Right? It's because it gets thinner as the further you go across
Yep.
the neck, right?
Now what have you? Now what did you do there?
Just a little chromatic run.
Went back to the A though.
Yeah. So instead of going up,
Yep.
I go play the same notes down an octave.
Isn't that Aqualung? Sitting on a park bench.
It is. I never knew I was playing that. There you go.
Don't come in here.
So I learned something now. I learned some Jethro
I
Tull
will
now.
tell
so,
you
yeah.
your classic rock.
And you can do the same thing for the 5 chord. So when it goes up to E7 or
Okay.
whatever you want to play up there, it's. But there's only time just to play up
Right.
because it's just one bar.
Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
which is the same notes, but I'm not going up to. I'm not playing that top
Yep.
note. So again, so that's
Yep.
so it's just a way of taking the same pattern and putting it over the other chords.
Now what? Now just show me what you're doing there on the lower patterns, because I'm getting a bit
Yeah,
lost.
so over the D,
Yep.
it's
Okay. Yep.
5th fret,
Yep.
and instead of going up here to the 3rd,
Yeah.
I'm going to go
Major
down to the 3rd on the 2nd
Oh,
fret.
okay. That's cool.
How to do it? Then 5th fret,
Yeah.
2nd fret, 3rd,
Okay.
and same for the E. So it's another option. Like a lot of bass players will know this stuff because they'll know their patterns up and their
Yeah.
patterns going from. They kind of like flip them.
Yeah.
They flip the
Yeah.
patterns from where the root note is.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So if you're watching at home, we're really just playing stuff over an A, a
Yep.
D, and an E. Yeah, there's your A. Here's the D. Oh, I like that too. Back to the A, back to the 1, the 5, the 4. Hey, oh,
Okay.
I like that. So you've got. Hang on, I'll just flick back. So that little change there at
Yep.
the end, you've got the
Yep.
F9. And what was that last one? Was that like a?
My jazzness coming out now.
No,
So
that's
it's
good.
13 chord.
We
So
accept jazzness. Yeah. Oh, you put that one in as well.
yeah. Because the more notes I can add to the chord, the more notes I can have to create melody within the chord movement.
Okay.
So like
Oh yeah.
that kind of, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so I don't know, but I guess the one thing I notice when people are doing these kind of shuffle patterns
Yes.
is sometimes the straightness of it.
yes.
There's I think the quickest thing you
Do
can
you,
do to
do you
improve.
mean there's no swing to it?
Yeah, I think the quickest thing you can do to improve the way you shuffle is to consider the way the triplets are. So
Yeah.
triplets is like, say you
3 over
three
1.
on 3 on 1 beat. So it's so we're still counting in 4.
Yeah.
That's 4 pulses.
So if I-
1, 2,
2,
3,
3,
4.
1.
But each beat has
It's got that sort of swing to it.
right. So but what we're doing with the shuffle, instead of playing, we're leaving out the middle one of the 3.
Yeah.
And that third one in the triplet, the third triplet, so we've got 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. We'll leave out the middle one. Let's do it like this instead.
Yeah. Oh,
leave
yeah.
leave
that
out.
works here.
So that's a triplet. Leave out the middle one.
Yes.
This one here, when you're playing it rhythmically with your right hand, and it's the same for drummers and bass players as well.
Yes.
Try and push this one back as far as you can without being out of time.
Okay.
And that's what I
Leave it a
personally
bit late.
I personally call that the sticky triplet,
Right.
because it helps people feel the music. Like you can see people, if you play it right at a gig, you can see people
Yeah.
standing back like going, hey,
That's what your buddy Jerry, I think, was trying to talk to me about. He was using jazz,
was he?
beret,
Was he-
funny
was he
cigarette
being
terms
hip,
like
hip, fab and groovy?
hip, fab, groovy, pocket. And he
Oh.
kept saying,
Hello, Jerry, by the way.
Hello,
Thank you for the shout out, by the way. I'm sorry we didn't meet.
yes, he was saying hip, groovy, jazz in the pocket. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh, yes, okay.
Yeah. So the pocket is a very funky term. Like
Yes.
the pocket is quite often when you're talking about soul and funk music with the backbeat.
Yeah.
The 2 and 4 really, the 2 and 4 is the snare.
Yeah.
And quite often you'll hear a guitar player who plays deep in the pocket hits exactly when that snare,
Okay.
like Midnight Hour. Just clean up a little bit for
Yeah.
that. And you'll get, that's a snare. 2, 4.
Almost reggae.
Except you're not doing offbeats, you're just doing the backbeat. So yeah. But with the sticky triplet, there's a lot of drummers that I hear, like Steve Jordan, who plays with Paul Anderson's Hammond combo. When he shuffles, he kind of does a shuffle.
Right.
Because of
Not Steve Jordan from the Keith Richards records.
No, sorry, did I say Steve Jordan? I meant Mike Jordan. Sorry,
Michael.
Mike Jordan.
Almost as good as
When
Steve.
he shuffles, or when Steve Gadd shuffles, the last triplet on every beat is kind of just a fraction behind. So instead of going, let me slow it down. I'll play it at the same tempo. So you can hear that third triplet on every beat. It's just a little bit back, and it's
Yes.
just a little bit late, and it's a fraction before the next beat.
Yes.
So it's sort of it helps it swing, and it helps it kind of it literally shuffle.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that's probably one of the quickest things you can do to improve the way it feels. And then when people say, "Oh, this is really boring," play it like this.
That's it.
So that kind of thing, like if you listen to some of the Jimmy Vaughan records,
Yes.
he's playing with a super dry Strat sound in
Yes.
bridge position. It's not what you call a nice sound,
Yes.
but it's a great sound for playing rhythms like that. And you'll hear that the drummer is actually in his same wavelength as far as pulling back on those triplets as well.
I had a bunch of jazz students in from one of the, I can't remember which one it was, VCA or something.
Yep.
And they were in here shopping around. We got to talking, and they said we had a Jimmy Vaughan signature Strat,
Yep.
and they said, "Oh my God, he's so overrated. I've never heard anything good." And I said, "Have you heard that first record?" And they're like, "Ugh." And I put it on, and they both went, "Oh my God, I'm totally converted straight away."
Yeah. Well, there's many incarnations of the Jimmy Vaughan that we all know and love, like depending on what record he's doing too. There's one that's got Out of the Shadows on it, which is another one that Paul Williamson plays every first Monday or last Monday of the month.
Yeah.
It's a song that I got to know through that, and the shuffle is just like that. It's a nasty guitar sound. It's not meant to be about flash lead stuff, but the feeling of his music's so good, and that's what it's about really. At the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh man, absolutely. Now, if you have a question for Neil, you should ask it now while Neil is here.
While I'm
and
sober.
yes, because last time Neil was here, a couple of beers. And,
These are foul accusations. I don't know where this is coming from.
We had the boys in blue. That's right. I have friends on the force, so we managed to fix that. We have a lot of people on. Heather Ray, Andrew Bagley. What's the guitar? All right, let's talk guitars.
Yep.
We have a PRS single cut. I say cut. Going through that's an artist one as well. It's got the artist package to it. Going through a 91 Blues Junior. In fact, I can switcheroo very quickly, and we'll have a look at Neil's guitar of choice today. Ooh, there it is. PRS single cut. Absolutely stunning. And into Daddy's Blues Junior.
This amp that Anthony will not sell me.
I will definitely not sell. If I close down, which is highly likely in this crazy time,
Come on, man.
I will go to my grave here in South Melbourne with that amp.
Your arm will be sticking out of the ground with that handle in your hand.
You can't dig it out. And of course, I am on a custom shop Strat.
Sounds beautiful.
Whoop.
What is it? A reissue model? Or?
It is a 61 candy apple red faded model. And I actually bought this from the lovely people over on the north side of it. Have you ever been over there, Neil?
Yes.
It's very lovely. I went in disguise. I put a beard on and a beret and a cigarette in a holder.
How long has it been since you've been to Fitzroy?
68, I think, or 63, something like that. And I snuck into the swap shop and in disguise, and someone said, "Hey, it's you!" As soon as I walked in the door. That was lovely
You
of
were
you.
spying, but you were just a punter.
Yes, but I was just a punter, and I played this and I liked it. So it's a 61 candy apple red faded Strat.
It's beautiful.
To 2017. So the
17.
faded ones, they have the nitro, but it's not the full relic. It's just a little bit of
A few speckles, a
a
few
little
stresses.
chicken went.
Yeah, it's cool.
Now-
Crazing is what they call it. isn't it?
Crazing, yes, yeah. Hazing, I used to love as
Hazing.
well. Hazing was good. Ian Anderson, hello, gentlemen. Hello, Ian. Ian's cool. How's your learner drivers for musicians career app going, Neil? Oh, okay, I'm up to speed there. Les Paul Gibson is on, and Michael Webb is on. Now, Neil, with the wonderful.
Yep.
Let me turn up a bit.
Yep.
Say we want to. We're not great at doing that Stevie thing, which I'm definitely not. What about chords?
Chords, yep.
Here's my one.
Yep, that's...
Here's yep.
I've gone out a little bit. Maybe I have. It's alright, it's okay, it's just
What do you need?
tuning. No, I think I'm alright.
It's not too bad. You can check it. Would you like to? We have
I
time.
might just
we have
for
all
the,
afternoon.
Just for the good of the people at home, I'm going to do this because
we have all afternoon.
I don't want to be spoken about. You know?
No. You know, I used to live next to this old man who had Alzheimer's, and he would come over, knock on my door every morning looking for his wife. He'd say, "Excuse me, where's my wife?" And I'd say, "Sorry to tell you this, but she's dead. She's dead." And you know, just to see that the enjoyment on his face every day. I stayed in that house for so many years because he was so happy to find that out. But then he'd forget and he'd come back. Thank you.
I wasn't sure if there was a joke coming or not, or if this was a really heartfelt anecdote from way
It's
back.
no. It's very dark humour. Sorry, dead people.
Have you got Irish ancestry? Because that's how they tell jokes. You don't know what's coming.
I don't know. Apparently, I know on my father's side it's all French. Apparently,
French.
and on my mother's side it's a blend of all Europe, Northern Europe. Yeah, where all the red-haired white people are.
That's Irish for me, as you can probably tell.
Is your last name Irish? Is that
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
Super Irish. Can you go back? Like, I'm always interested in this because you meet like my wife Lily is Chinese, and she's basically all Chinese. Like you can go way back.
You won't find anything else. Yeah.
Oh right, it's all Irish with you.
well,
going back that far.
My mum's from Belfast,
Right.
so she's literally Northern Irish.
Yeah.
My dad's family. My dad was born in South Australia,
Okay.
but his family are all from the Republic.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so from
That's amazing.
Ballina
Yes.
on the northwest coast, and that's
excuse
what
me.
Ballina
Yeah.
in Australia was named
Yeah.
after.
It's quite incredible the amount of things I like. I did not know Ballina. As soon as you said it, I thought, I wonder if that's where that came from.
Yeah,
It is.
it is, and it looks kind of the same because my dad's cousin. I don't know if he still owns it, but when I was there in 2007, he owned a beautiful old pub on the river,
Yes.
and we got to have a family night in with the doors
Oh,
locked.
wow. I love
And
that.
I got so drunk, but wasn't fun in the morning. But
Not Peter O'Toole level drunk.
I was pretty
Pretty
because
loaded.
everyone
They
in the-
drink a lot. Those people.
Everyone in the room is a distant relative who kind of had my face. So it was kind of like
Right.
the Flanders family reunion. So every time I went to the bar, people just handed me a beer, going, "Oh, you're Peter's son," blah 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 blah.
Oh.
And yeah, I was pretty crook the next day. But yeah, it's a funny place. Like on the river where it comes in, the shape of where the river comes in looks like Ballina,
Oh right.
North Coast, New South Wales. So
Wow.
someone must have arrived in Ballina
Yeah.
and gone, "Oh, it reminds me of home now." You know.
It reminds me of home. I think I call it Ballina. They named it the Turd on the Turd.
On the Turd Day.
Turd of the Turd Day.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Now, Neil, I want some chords here.
Yeah, chords. Okay, so
give me some chords.
pretty much, you know, where you start is
Yes,
your
got
bar
mine.
chord.
Yep. So here's my A7
Yep.
bar chord.
And what you can actually do, and I'm going to come clean here, I nicked this from a Robin Ford lesson.
Oh, I reckon I know what you're going to do.
Because he knows all the fancy
Yeah,
13s and
yeah.
playing a ninth chord up here and here and this kind of stuff
Okay.
as well. But he had a riff where it's just using the bar chord version,
Yeah.
and it's just the pinky and suspended.
Suspended. Yes.
Yep, and it's those two notes and
But it does the same.
all right. So that's a
That's
really good
cool.
one to
I love that.
That's a really cool one to do if that's all you know.
Yes.
Chord wise. He did this cool thing where he leads up to the 4 chord with some sliding notes,
Yeah.
which I can never nail, but let's try it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So what sort of
Yeah.
that interval? Which of course would be what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's a flattened third up an octave, but it's basically just like 7/7 entablature on the E string and the G string
Right. 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9.
to lead you up to the. So I thought it was pretty cool. So that's one thing that Robin Ford would do. And when you're actually doing that, on the first half of the riff, you kind of emphasise the lower notes with your pick
Yep.
over this side, and on the other half of the riff, you emphasise the top notes.
Okay.
So it kind of sounds like two guitar players because you got one person doing it, and the other person going.
That's a bit different.
So that gets your right hand happening really well.
And when you're playing that little run up, are you doing it like an octave sort of style thing?
Yeah,
a mute.
I mean, I use my pinky for that higher note,
Okay,
but
yeah.
you can
Ooh,
also.
That's tricky.
That doesn't feel natural for me at all. Yeah.
That's almost like a diminish. Wow.
So that's the bar. That's the thing you can do with the bar chord if you're finding it completely boring
Yeah.
already. But another thing I will do is I'll reduce my bar chord A7 down to just a triangle, because
Yeah.
which is just
what
your
sort of?
5th fret
Right.
D string, 6th fret G string, and 5th fret on the B string, right?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, I see.
And that's enough.
Like a D shape.
It's like a D shape, but it's over
No.
this next set of strings up,
Yep.
and that's enough for an A7 chord or any 7 chord,
Yep.
because it's got, theoretically, it's got the right notes to make that chord. Because when you're playing the bar chord, you're just doubling them up.
Yep.
Anyway, you got two of a lot of these notes. So you get it down to this one.
Oh, wow. Oh, you're putting a thumb over. Oh, that's hard.
Right, so, but in order to really dig into it, I will bar it,
Yep.
and then I'm using my second finger to play the top of the triangle there.
Okay,
So,
yep. I like that
yeah.
one.
So, and the cool thing about that is you can hammer on the 3rd, you know,
Yep.
and it's a good place to start if you want to do this kind of like.
Oh, that's good. Whoa, what did you do there? Hold on, killer. What was that?
So I'm hammering on,
Yep,
there,
so that's...
and then I'm flattening down my 3rd finger on the 7th fret here as like a triad.
Okay, oh, that's almost like...
Yeah. And then I can do a little run as well.
Oh. To the E. Oh.
Yeah. There's actually a song in South by East that goes like that in G.
Ah. Ah.
Yeah.
That's tricky.
That sort of thing.
Let me
So,
get my second camera for folks at home, for the young people. Let's have a look at that, because that's super cool. In Mark?
and it's
in my
it's
book.
handy just to play a few notes to leave your fingers
Which is
free to do the other
book.
stuff. You know.
Absolutely.
So you got a pinky free, you got a thumb free for muting up here if you want to really strike the right hand as well.
So if you're watching at home,
Thumb
it's
is
basically
okay.
an A7.
Yeah, classical guitar players are having a meltdown right now because I'm putting the thumb over the top of the neck. So,
They're asleep. They're having their afternoon nap.
Are they?
now. Yeah.
Cup of tea and a lie down.
Cup of tea and lie
Right.
down.
Not
Cup
that
of
we're
tea, love,
isolating
and a
anyone.
lie down.
Yeah. So back to the triangle here.
Yes.
That's
Now-
enough for an A7 chord,
Okay.
especially if there's a keyboard player in the band already and there's already a bass line going.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can just go. Up to D.
Oh, yeah. So up on fret 10, folks.
Just,
Ooh, I missed it.
just very classic, you know, approaching
yeah.
from a fret below or above.
Oh, yeah. Good diminish.
Now I can do some variations on it as well. So I can add this D triad, so D to A7.
It's like the muddy waters thing.
Yep. Yeah, so just, and I can go.
Okay, so explain to me
Yeah.
what you're doing there.
Okay, so just doing a variation on
Yep. So we've got
A7 to D,
Yep.
right? And whatever I want to do, whatever it feels good, you know, like. There might be another rhythm guitarist in the band, so I might play less than that. I'll leave a big gap, you know. So it's just up to the.
What was I saw you chucking in some nines there, like you did an F sharp 9
Yeah,
to
so-
an E. Yeah.
So another thing you can do if you're using this shape of a 9 chord,
Yeah.
which is just in this example, it's an E9 chord and a D9. But let's just do the E.
Yeah.
All on the 7th fret, you lay your finger across here,
Yes.
second finger here, and you play the third there. So, right. It can also play like this without the top note, with all fingers doing this. But
Yes.
for the sake of
that's
this type of music, let's
That's
do this.
what I do.
And funk.
Ooh.
But with the
Funky.
blues, you can actually slide.
Right.
Slide that finger, as long as you don't slide the whole chord up with these two fingers down below,
Right.
because it sounds a bit weird. So
That is a bit odd.
you just. But with the shuffle, instead of going, because I can't actually physically play this triangular thing here very well down
Yeah.
here,
Yes.
because the string displacement
yeah.
thing of the guitar, I might just go. And you hear I'm not fretting notes per se. They're kind of ghosted as
Yeah,
well, so I'm
yeah.
not pressing very hard on some of these because it keeps it percussive. So
Yeah.
it's hard to do slowly, but not. Right.
Yeah. Down to the 4 and the 1. Hey.
Right. So yeah, that's the sort of thing I like to do all night at a gig.
That's very cool.
If the band feels really good and they're playing with the same kind of approach
Yes.
in that sense, I don't really want to solo at all.
Do you pop into the blues jams at all anymore?
Very occasionally, yes. Actually going back to one very soon. And
Where
thank
are
you,
you
Nigel,
going?
for plugging this gig, by the way.
Oh,
Good segue.
thank you, Nigel. What has he done now?
Well, our good friend Travis Winters has been invited to be the MBAS special guest.
Oh, wow.
very
Good on you,
soon.
Travis.
So the featured
That's
artist, they have the jam session, and the featured artist goes on. Oh no, the featured artist goes on, and then the jam session.
That's all. That's
Afterwards.
That's killer.
And,
He's been in here before now.
Yes, he has. And instead of playing his original tunes like he did last time,
Yes.
making a bit of a concept out of it, he's bringing me in and my friend Adam Waldron, a great blues guitar player as well.
Wow. So you got the and
And we're going to do
is the
3 Telecasters.
master of the
So
Telecasters.
you shall leave this gig.
When's that
moderately
happening?
deaf.
When's that happening?
I think it was May 25th. I'm probably getting this all wrong, but go onto Facebook and look
I
up
think it's-
Travis Winters Band.
I think it's
There's no event there yet. It's so
might be
fresh.
21 because I think
May 21.
it's
Yeah, May
it's a-
21 because May 31st is my gig coming up.
and I think Jeff Atchison
Yes.
is on the 25th. The Soul Diggers.
Oh, that's where I'm getting
one.
that from because I watched your video this morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Just me hanging with Jeff.
Just doing
Neil.
your thing,
Now, Neil, we probably need to let you get home to your lovely family. Lucas Walker has joined. Do you know Lucas Walker?
I don't think I do.
He is a basketball superstar. He's playing. Well, he used to play for Melbourne.
Oh.
Do you know the Melbourne team?
United,
I think it could be
Yep.
United. And now he's up north playing for the
Taipans.
Taipans.
I'm a Hawks fan. Go Hawks.
Lucas, are you going to play for the Hawks sometime?
Yeah, come
Please
down
do.
Go down to Wollongong. It's much better there.
Is that where you're from originally?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I knew you're from, is it Wollongong, New South Wales? Wayne
Yes.
Gardner. Is that
Wayne Gardner, yes.
Wayne Gardner.
Yes,
I told you I'm Aussie.
that's so good.
told
You
you.
know when I was a Cub Scout.
Yeah,
in
I
the
was
eight-
a Cub Scout.
I was a Cub Scout in the 80s, and Wayne Gardner came in to do a
Did
talk
he?
with the kids
Wow.
to inspire us all to get on powerful
motorcycle.
motorbikes and really kill ourselves. But it was really cool.
I love that
Really
sort
cool.
of. I love being a Cub Scout in the 80s. You know, you get someone like today. We've got Dave who's going to demonstrate how to shoot a high-powered rifle, and then
Yeah.
here you go.
No, we didn't have that.
didn't
no,
have that?
no fun like
Oh,
that.
man.
No.
Neil, what is coming up for you apart from the Travis Winters?
Yeah, so Travis
Blues?
Winters, the Telecartel gig at the MBAS, at the
Yep.
Melbourne Blues Appreciation Society.
Yes.
On the 31st of May, playing at the Drunken Poet with the Hawker Heights Hammond combo.
Oh, lovely. I love
So
that.
it's one of those great little tiny bar gigs with the 3-piece crams into the window and blows everyone away.
I love that.
And
Is
then
that
we've
West
got
West Melbourne? West Melbourne?
West
Drunken
Melbourne,
Poet,
across
yes.
the road from the markets.
Oh, right. Okay. I know where
It's
that
an
is.
Irish bar.
Hello.
Yes.
Welcome home.
Yeah, it's great. Before that, though, next Friday, we're playing at 303 with Pickpocket.
Oh, back
yeah.
again.
Yeah, we're just doing a little last-minute gig with an act that's touring down from Sydney, a 2-piece thing where it's a bass player and a vocalist playing kind of funkier kind of stuff on their own, and they are called Bravo Victor.
Bravo Victor.
And it's,
Okay.
it's pretty cool. But yeah, we'll be doing that at 303
That's awesome.
next week as well.
When's your Irish gig? Is it on the third?
May 31st.
May 31st.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. Neil, would you be so gracious? I'm going to try one of your rhythm things. Could you play some lead out? We'll play out.
Yep.
Let me see if I can get this. So. Okay, I'm going to give this little. I'm going to try that. That's my
Yep.
new trick that I've learnt from Neil.
Q.
If you want, are you teaching?
If people ask, I'll do lessons.
I will put Neil's details here.
Yep.
He's very approachable, and give him a buzz. And if you want a good lesson,
Yep.
there's not really many better. Is there anyone better? No,
Oh,
I don't think so.
maybe, but we don't mention it here.
No. All right, cool. I'm going to give it a go. Play whatever you want. Oh man, that's nasty. Whoop. a little bit of, who was the gentleman that used to do that all the time on the telly? Roy Buchanan to finish with. That was awesome. That was fun. You made me nervous. There's too much. It's like hanging out with the Obi-Wan Kenobi of guitar. These are not the licks you're looking for. Thank you again, sir.
No worries.
A customary
Thank
handshake.
you.
That was awesome. If you want to see Neil, dates will be written. If you want to talk to Neil, he's like a social media wizard, so you can just message him at all hours of the night. He loves that.
Totally dog me there. That'd
2,
be great.
3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
Perfect.
sweet. That'd be great.
And give him a buzz for a lesson, because I've learned some stuff today, which is really cool. I love that.
Awesome.
Folks, we're out of here. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. We need to get our subscribers up a bit.
Click the bell.
Click the bell and get notified.
Yep.
Thanks, folks. We're out of